Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Today I'm going to go out on a limb because this article that I read that's been going around by these clowns at the sadist, I guess you said it's the sadist group. These guys came out and said that Bitcoin will be 96,000 and XRP is going to go to 1 cent by 2023. I want to go ahead and head this off and tell you I have been listening to guys like this for the last 4 years. You have a certain group of I call them Bitcoin maximalists who have been mad about Ripple and XRP. The idea that it is not a mined coin and that they pre-mined XRP and it's just there. And so there's not mining going on, and these guys love saying, oh, it's not decentralized and Bitcoin is centralized and all this. These guys, and there's so many of them, they've had an issue with XRP from the beginning. But I'm going to lay down the gauntlet to this guy. I don't know if it's a particular guy. I tried to find who in the article, who the actual person was from the sadist group that claim that XRP would be 1 cent. So I'm going to lay down the gauntlet here, and I'll expound on it a little bit further in the video. But the gauntlet is this. It's in the title of my video. Ripple XRP, not only will it not be 1 cent by 2023, buddy, Ripple XRP will be bigger than Amazon before 2023. And I'm going to show you why I think so too. All right. Moving on, but I want to say one more thing about this. There are so many stupid distractions. No telling what the guys in this article, no telling what their agenda is, and it never ceases to amaze me how quickly Forbes and Fortune are to pick up anything negative about XRP. They love doing that, but these guys are going to be proven wrong. And I'll show you why. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but today I'm just going to show you one of the bigger reasons. First, I wanted to show you something much more important than what that clown said, and that is what the founder of Ripple said. This was Chris Larsen. He was interviewed in this article, and he was talking about what the profound change on the way the world works, how these digital assets are going to do that. And of course he's referring to Ripple, but he says you really can't have globalization which is workable unless you have interoperability in three things: data, goods, and money. We only have those in two things: data and goods. Without the money part, globalization just doesn't work. It's incomplete. And so anyway, he says suddenly every entrepreneur, every bank, every currency in the world has unlimited reach. Right now, that's not the way it is. And that's just exactly what happened for data. And now it's happening for money. I think this is really going to be clear a lot of friction. And that's kind of getting in the way of promise that globalization was supposed to bring. So Chris Larsen is he's laying it out, and he knows what's coming. I wanted to show you another thing, which is this right here was a tweet that I saw. I'm not sure who Alvin Fu is, but it's at Alvin Fu if you want to go follow him. I don't follow him myself. I don't know much about him, but I did like this post. This is apparently an event that Goldman Sachs hosted, and the guy that was speaking in this is Naval Ravikant, and that is the CEO of AngelList. Okay, and what is cool about what this guy is saying in this video was one thing that we've heard constantly from it's poor Jamie Dimon. He always gets bashed by me. But the Jamie Dimons of the world, he's a great representative of all of the guys who have tried to scare many of you out of cryptocurrencies. But what this guy is saying in this video is the exact opposite of what the Jamie Dimons have been saying. They have over and over and over been saying, well, blockchain is a great technology, but that's separate from cryptocurrencies. And what this guy says in this video is that blockchain and cryptocurrencies go hand in hand, and just by nature of them, you can't have one without the other, and that both will be a success, not just blockchain, the technology. That's all BS. Well, okay, I wanted to make sure before I forget to remind you guys that if you have not stored your digital assets safely on a Ledger Nano S, nothing that I'm talking about matters, because your assets are at risk. And if you lose your assets by keeping them on an online exchange, then none of this means anything, because you're going to lose your investment anyway. Do not keep your money on an exchange. Go in the description of any of my videos and you can go straight to Ledger's website and get your Ledger Nano S. All right, moving along. Okay, and here's the big picture. I'm about to hit you with the big picture and why these guys that predicted the 1 cent XRP are so ridiculously off. I think intentionally, in my opinion. I think these guys, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. This was just, I believe, yesterday or maybe today. The CBO said to be planning Ether futures launch by year end. Just like they did Bitcoin. In fact, the Bitcoin futures launch is what created the bull market back last December. This is Ether futures launch, and don't think for a minute that there's not going to be XRP futures launch and several others, at least in the top 10 or 15 digital assets. But the reason I wanted to show you this is that Wall Street continues to build the momentum for all that's coming in. Next, I wanted to show you this. I spoke briefly about it yesterday. Yahoo, world's 6th most popular website, now supports cryptocurrency trading. Like I said, Wall Street is making its way in. Now remember, we're in a bear market right now, and I get this question a lot from many people out there. Just because we have all of these new on-ramps opening, and these are massive on-ramps that are being opened. Back in the bull run in December, there were all sorts of log jams. There's no telling how big that bull run would have been if we had even a quarter of the on-ramps that have been built since then, such as this Yahoo article here. But get ready for the next one, because just because they're opening all these up, it does not mean that all of a sudden the prices are going to shoot through the roof. But when the sentiment changes, and it is going to change, and it's imminent, when that sentiment changes, and in my opinion, the sentiment will change once the final one is open, and in my opinion, that's going to be the one done by the NICE, and as well as the next article I'm about to show you. But once that sentiment shift happens and Wall Street finally unleashes the media, which they control, and all of the powerful people that can then on a dime turn and do nothing but talk great about how great cryptocurrencies and digital assets are, you just watch what happens to this market. And it's not at least in the short run to the midterm run, it's not going to matter which one you own as long as it's one of the legitimate top 10 or 15 digital assets. All of the boats are going to rise, because that's the nature of how this works, just like it did back in the internet boom, and I've told you 1,000 times. All right, next. And this is my favorite Twitter guy, C3 Nick, that I always talk to you about, and I always tell you to follow at C3_Nick. This right here sums up much of what I've been telling you for months. It also sums up why part of the reason that article by those guys are saying that XRP is going to go to 1 cent. part of the reason that it's so stupid and naive. That guy, whoever wrote that, ought to be ashamed of themselves, and the guys that are spreading it, even more shameful, because this right here tells you plenty. Binance created almost as much revenue as the NASDAQ in Q1 of 2018. Binance even surpassed Deutsche Bank in terms of revenue. That sets off a lot of alarms within the financial industry. In my opinion, they will all try to get a piece of the action, which will be fun to watch. And there is no question about this, because it's just like the movie that Tom Cruise was in, where he was the football. He wasn't a scout. He was an agent for athletes. But anyway, Tom Cruise, he said, "Show me the money." Well, if you think Wall Street is about anything but showing me the money, then think twice, because that's what it's all about. They can say anything they want about how concerned they are for their clients, but when you start hearing that kind of talk, then ask yourself one question. If Goldman Sachs was so concerned about their clients, why did they bet against their clients' own interest? Google that from the financial crisis and see what comes up, because they sure did. They had congressional hearings on it. It's not about the clients, it's about the money. And if you do nothing but follow the money for the rest of your life, most of the time it will lead you to truth. Because if you follow the money, you're following greed, which is what drives most of the people in this world, especially Wall Street. And I'm not saying that that's always a bad thing. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's good. Greed sometimes could bring out the best in people. A lot of times it brings out the worst, but that's a personal thing for each of us to explore. But moving on. So C3 Nick is 100% right. And then what do you know? The NASDAQ comes out and says the NASDAQ will list cryptocurrencies in 2019 as early as Q2. They are coming. I've been telling you for months now, Wall Street is coming. Wall Street is coming. And when Wall Street finally decides that they're ready and they've arrived, they will unleash the hordes of people that they control, the media being one of the largest parts of this. And all you will hear about is how great digital assets are and how they're going to change the world. You write it down. Okay, this is the NASDAQ about to list cryptocurrencies in 2019. And if you think that they're just going to say, oh, well, we're only going to list assets that have, we're just going to list assets that where they have mining operations. We love Bitcoin so much. No, that's not how this works. The way Wall Street works is they like to offer choices, just like on a menu in a restaurant, and they will offer choices. And the greatest digital asset in the history of the world, and the greatest digital asset ever created, XRP, will be on the menu, and it'll be at the top of the menu. All right, let's just put this in perspective. The NASDAQ, the market cap of the NASDAQ is $10 trillion, okay? $10 trillion. The current market cap of cryptocurrencies, I was looking at it earlier. Let me go up here. $225 billion. So, it's not an if. They're telling you in by Q2 of 2019, $10 trillion that's sitting in stocks is going to be eligible to sell out of any of those stocks and then turn around and buy XRP and other digital assets. So do I need to explain this any more to you? I shouldn't have to. You might be on the wrong channel if I have to explain that further, because it's black and white. It's simple, very simple. All right, moving along. And now I want to get to Amazon, which I mentioned in my title, okay? Because I want to lay down the gauntlet to these guys at the group that said that XRP is going to be 1 cent. You guys are these professional researchers, and I'm just a humble YouTuber here. But I whoever your head researcher is, I want to go ahead and lay it down. I have $100 that says, first of all, I've got $100 No, take that back. Yeah, $100 worth of XRP, because I want to pay you an XRP when the time comes. $100 worth of XRP. First of all, says that your 1 cent prediction is wrong, and then I want to put another $100 in XRP. And this is my bold. Bet. Then I'll bet you another $100 worth of XRP that XRP will be bigger than Amazon by market cap. The value of XRP before 2023. So write that one down. So any of you if any of you out there happen to know those guys that made that silly prediction, send this to them and tell them that I'll give them my XRP address if they'll give me theirs, because they're really going to need mine, because they're going to be sending me $200 worth of XRP in 2023. Actually, before 2023. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. Next thing, I wanted to, that article that I had up just now, it was an article about, this is just something I wanted to mention. It was an article about Amazon was about to pass their $1 trillion market cap. And so that's part of what that bet was about. And what I wanted to bring up about that is that last night, Tika Tiwari from the Palm Beach Research Group had done another one of his videos last night, and I was watching part of it. And this is an interesting thing for those of you out there that are XRP holders. They've made a great deal out of how XRP went up 38,000%, and it could never do that again, and this type of talk. Well, one chart that Tika Tiwari threw up there last night was a chart of Amazon, and it said that if you bought $1,000 worth of Amazon in the year 2000, your Amazon would now be worth $850,000, which is a 90,000% return. Now, let's make a couple of points there. Amazon turned a 90,000% return. When Amazon was created, the New York Stock Exchange was already in existence. The NASDAQ was already in existence. All you had was a new company that was a new stock, and that stock would have gotten you 90,000% return. What I'm telling you is that we are creating an entirely new asset class. We've got a great company in Ripple. We've got a great digital asset that the company is going to use in a use case which has never been done in the history of the world. And we've got an entire market infrastructure that's being built right before our eyes. And so my point in telling you all of that is, what's a 90,000% return when we're talking about an entirely new world that we're entering? Amazon did that in the existing world. What I'm saying is that XRP is a whole new world. 90,000% could be dwarfed. We don't know, but I have a hunch. I have a pretty good hunch. Just for your information, the value of XRP, to do what I said in the title of this video, for XRP to be bigger than Amazon before 2023, which is what it's going to do, all it has to do is hit $25. So I think that I will leave you with that. I wanted to show you one thing. For those of you, I thought this was cool. I saw this on Twitter today. This is a guy that just got his WireX payment card, cryptocurrency payment card in the mail, and he's got it right there in front of his Porsche steering wheel. And I think that many of you that are listening are one day it may be your Lambo steering wheel, but it'll be something pretty nice, I'm thinking. So if you haven't gone and gotten your WireX card, you can also get that in the description of all of my videos. So it allows these things, for those of you that are new, these WireX cards, they allow you You can load up cryptocurrencies and you can go in and out. You can exchange into your fiat currency and then you can use the cards to buy things. Genius idea. It's at the very beginning of the world change that we are all a part of right now. I am headed to the beach myself, and so I may not do a video on Monday since we're at a holiday weekend, but we'll see. Maybe I'll stream showing you a view of the ocean or something. I appreciate y'all listening. I'm the digital asset investor. I am not an investment advisor. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I really appreciate everybody's interaction and watching my videos. It's been a fun few months. Thank you.